From the East Brunswick Jewish Center, I'm Rabbi Jeff Paivo. Much of rabbinic literature is simply legal writing by another name. Over 2,000 years of Jewish history, much of our communal life has been shaped by a legal approach to things. Wherever Jews have lived, we've usually had the autonomy to run our own affairs and to draw on biblical and rabbinic texts and Jewish tradition to know what the right thing to do is in any given situation. Every aspect of life has a deep well of textual sources from which we can draw spiritual and intellectual sustenance, as well as practical solutions to daily issues. For instance, there's a passage in this week's Torah portion that is familiar to many students of the Talmud. It centers on the case of the goring oxen, one who has gored a person, free or slave, one that is known to have a history of lashing out. If you're thinking that such matters have little or no relation to our own times, simply substitute the words Chevy or pit bull for oxen, and it becomes instantly relevant. One of the most important legal presumptions in Jewish law is in fact based on this passage. The early rabbis of the Mishnah ruled that based on the case of the habitually goring ox, that negligence on the part of an owner of such an animal, or a Chevy with faulty brakes in our time, creates culpability for any damages that should occur. If we know we have something dangerous in our hands, and it then harms someone or causes damage, we are legally responsible for restitution. This is just one small illustration of the kind of legalism that pervades the Jewish experience. It shows that Judaism does not espouse a dry, theoretical expression of our faith, but rather a sacred tradition that has something to say about the most common and even mundane issues of life. Judaism integrates our spiritual, intellectual, commercial, and legal needs into a single complex culture. From a Jewish point of view, every one of these elements is, by definition, religious, because each one is informed by the will of God. Put another way, as Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel once did, religion is not a separate aspect of life, it is the one aspect that gives depth to all of the others. I look forward to seeing you this Shabbat, and in the coming week, seeing you in Florida for those members in the Delray and Boca area. I'll be coming down from Sunday through Thursday and then returning back to EBJC for Shabbat. A Shabbat Shalom to all, near and far. Keep warm in this very cold week.